They were very young, you know? And so occasionally we go to, I remember, I think it was Philadelphia Spectrum, and we started playing about 20 minutes earlier. It was gas, 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 you know, the Kiss Army. And
yeah.
He's known for marathon live performances. And he's defined the heartland rock genre. Now get ready to dive into the luxurious world of Bob Seger, the legendary American singer, songwriter, and musician who achieved great popularity in the 1970s and 80s. Known for his raspy voice and timeless hits like Old Time Rock and Roll, Night Moves, and Turn the Page. With a career spanning 6 decades, Seger has sold over 75 million records worldwide, earned a place in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, and also won the Grammy Awards. Today he enjoys a relaxed, high-roller lifestyle with multi-million-dollar homes, prized classic and luxury cars, and an unrivaled collection of rock memorabilia. He takes pride in avoiding the modern world, boasting that he doesn't even use email, and balances stadium thunder with quiet evenings, proving that fame and comfort can coexist. So how does a kid from a Rust Belt town become the thunder of a generation? Let's rewind to where the first chords of struggle were struck. Early life and background. Robert Clark Seger was born on May 6, 1945, in Dearborn, Michigan, a Motor City town where dreams roared like engines, but often ran out of like gas. His father, Stuart Seger, worked as a Ford plant medic, but carried a fiddler's soul, filling their modest home with music. His mother, Charlotte Seger, was the steady anchor, holding the family together with quiet strength. In those early years, music was always in the air. When Bob was just 5-year-old, his family moved to California, chasing Stuart's musical dreams. But the chase didn't last long. By the time Bob turned 10, his father had walked away for good, leaving Charlotte to raise 2 boys in Ann Arbor's tougher neighborhoods. Then the life quickly turned into survival. Bob delivered newspapers, bagged groceries, and pumped gas, anything to help his mother keep the lights on. But he was shy in the classrooms. At Tappan Junior High School, and later Ann Arbor High School, he found his true voice in music, not in words. His first instrument wasn't even a guitar, it was a ukulele, the same one his father had once shown him a few chords on. Then came the real spark, hearing Little Richard, Elvis Presley, and Chuck Berry on the radio. Soon after, Bob saved enough money for a cheap secondhand guitar. Then the first record he bought, Come Go With Me by the Del Vikings, a song that mirrored his longing for something bigger. From there, garage jams became his stage, his raspy voice already carrying the grit of hard times. But his early life wasn't glamorous. It was a mix of struggle, silence, and the sound of dreams, slowly taking shape in a small-town boy's heart. Those garage echoes were just the fuse. But what turned this shy Michigan kid into the thunderous voice of a generation? Career breakthrough and iconic movements. Bob Seger's fire first lit up in Detroit's gritty dives, but it took the right spark to set the world ablaze. Then he fronting bands like the Town Criers and Doug Brown and the Omens. His first single, East Side Story, in 1966, gave him a local spark. But 1968 changed everything. Ramblin' Gamblin' Man stormed to number 17 on Billboard, putting the Motor City's raw rock grit on the national map. Then enter Punch Andrews, the sharp-eyed manager, who guided Bob through lean years and late-night tours. The turning point came in 1973 when Seger formed this Silver Bullet Band, Drew Abbott's fiery guitar, Alto Reed's soulful sax, locking in the signature sound that would carry him to glory. But 1976 was the big explosion. Lightning struck at Detroit's Cobo Hall. Live Bullet, the explosive double live album, captured Seger's raw energy. Turn the Page, becoming every road warrior's anthem. And that same year, Night Moves dropped, its title track a bittersweet gut punch about youth and longing. The album went multi-platinum, turning a Detroit rocker into a national voice. In 1978, Seger released Old Time Rock and Roll, a jukebox classic later immortalized by Tom Cruise's Risky Business slide. Then came 1980, his album, Against the Wind, hit number 1 on the Billboard charts and earned him a Grammy Award, sealing his place in heartland rock history. But Seger's pen stretched beyond his own hits. He co-wrote the Eagles' #1 smash, Heartache Tonight, proving his songwriting was as timeless as his voice. Across the decades, his catalog grew into more than 75 million albums sold worldwide. Then the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction in 2004, with Bruce Springsteen calling him the midnight voice of the blue-collar American heart, and the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2012. Bob Seger didn't just make rock and roll hits. He wrote anthems for America's highways, weddings, and working nights. From bar gigs to global stages, his roar became the sound of timeless rock and roll. That roar didn't just echo in arenas, it built legendary rock empires. But just how much fortune did those anthems create? Net worth and incomes. That roar from the stages, it didn't just shake arenas, it built an empire with rock and roll style. Today, Bob Seger's net worth clocks in at a solid $60 million, a fortune carved from 6 decades of sweat, soul, and timeless anthems. Let's back in the 70s, the royalties were modest, maybe a few thousand per gig after expenses. But the tide turned with classics like Night Moves and Against the Wind, part of more than 75 million albums sold worldwide. Those records still pump royalties like an endless river. And then came the tours, the real cash machine. His 2018 to 2019 farewell run, Roll Me Away, grossed over $100 million, with fans packing arenas to sing every word. Even in retirement, the engine keeps running from licensing gold like a rock, powering Chevy truck ads for a decade. Old-time rock and roll in Risky Business, and jukeboxes worldwide still raking millions. Then billions of Spotify streams, steady merch sales, and smart real estate plays in Michigan and Florida. No flashy endorsements, no gimmicks, just steady, authentic income. From $200 dive bar nights to $5 to $8 million a year in passive earnings today, Seger turned grit into luxury gold. So with pockets like that, what does Bob spend it on? Not Dubai yachts or Vegas penthouses, but this legend's luxury will surprise you. Luxury lifestyle and hobbies. Bob Seger's $60 million fortune could buy him penthouses and private jets, but his idea of luxury is pure Michigan, grit over glitz and heart over hype. On quiet mornings, you'll catch him by the lake, fishing rod in one hand, coffee in the other, soaking in the same waters he's loved since his early days. His garage? A sanctuary where vintage rides gleam under soft light, each engine a reminder of the open roads that fueled his anthems. And fashion-wise, no designer suits here, just worn-in jeans, flannels, and boots that have seen more miles than some tour buses. His shelves hum with rare vinyls and guitars, each scar carrying stories from nights on the road. And always by his side, a loyal paw friend, the quiet roadie for life beyond the spotlight. Here's what makes Seger different. While many rock legends flaunt yachts and parties, he quietly pours millions into Detroit's kids, funding music programs, scholarships, and giving the next generation the same chance he once dreamed of. It's not about flash, it's about roots, rhythm, and realness. Because at the end of the day, it's not just the lake or the chrome, it's the people who make his world rock steady. Relationship and connections. Bob Seger's songs may echo highways and heartbreak, but his real compass has always been family and the people closest to him. Growing up in Ann Arbor, he leaned on her older brother George. Through the chaos after their father walked away, a bond that shaped his strength. But love was not an easy path in his life. In 1968, Seger's first marriage to Renee Andrietti lasted less than a year. Then came Jan Dinsdale in the 70s, a decade-long romance that fueled timeless ballads like We've Got Tonight and Against the Wind. By 1987, he briefly married actress Annette Sinclair, but it ended within a year, proof that rock and roll love can burn bright and fade fast. But fate had bigger plans for him. In 1991, at a Nashville gig, Seger met Juanita Doricott, a sharp lawyer with a smile that felt like home. 2 years later, on July 10, 1993, they wed in a quiet Bloomfield Hills ceremony. Today, over 30 years later, their love still stands steady. Together, they've raised 2 children, son Christopher Cole, now in music production, and daughter Samantha Char, the spark who keeps dad young. But heartbreak is missing birthdays for tours, but he made it right, pouring love into every note because that's his anchor. And friendships have been just as powerful. Glenn Frey, a fellow Detroiter who later founded the Eagles, always called Seger his mentor. They shared stages, co-wrote Heartache Tonight, and stayed brothers until Frey's passing, honored forever in Seger's tribute song, Glenn's Song. Bonds with Kid Rock, John Fogerty, and countless Detroit pals only deepened that legacy. That's Seger's heart, a melody of loyalty, louder than any fleshy stage. And where does this rock and roll family lay their heads? In a place as soulful as Seger's chords. Real estate properties. Bob Seger's music always spoke of freedom, roots, and the open road. And his home is a perfect encore, a sanctuary that mirrors his soul. Tucked away on Laplaya Lane in Orchard Lake Village, Michigan, this custom-built 2009 masterpiece spreads across 4 lush acres with nearly 500 feet of private Upper Straits lake shoreline. Spanning around 18,368 square feet, with whispers it stretches closer to 20,000, this rockstar retreat boasts 8 bedrooms, 14 bathrooms, and even 3 full kitchens. From a vaulted great room echoing like stadium cheers to a gourmet kitchen perfect for family feasts, every corner breathes luxury blended with warmth. And their unique gems is a restored carriage house-turned music studio, walls humming with the silver bullet band spirit, a 2-story mahogany library stuffed with stories and vinyl lore, a screening room for family movie nights, and a game room with a golf simulator, singed but rebuilt after that 2021 chimney fire. Outside, sprawling gardens flow down to a private dock, where pontoons bob at sunset, perfect for Seger's quiet evenings with Juanita and their kids. And let's not forget the garages, dual 4-car setups housing his chrome dreams. And for Bob, home isn't just about peace, it's also about horsepower. Because when the lake rests, Bob Seger hits the road, his rides roaring with the same raw power as his riffs. Cars and vehicles collections. Bob Seger's music always screamed freedom, and his garage, it's the same story on wheels. Star of the shows is a 1971 Ford Mustang Mach 1 in Grabber Orange, Seger's first love. A Detroit muscle beast worth over $70,000 today. Its V8 rumble echoes the grit of night moves. Next up, and his everyday warrior, the 2013 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Rubicon. Blacked out, trail-ready, rated a perfect 10 off-road. This $40,000 rig is his multi-tool for Michigan backroads and cross-country escapes. For speed and style, there's the 2011 Porsche Carrera S Cabriolet, a sleek $100,000 convertible built for highway sprints. And a classic throwback, the 1976 BMW 530i, worth about $30,000, his nod to those 70s glory days. But the crown jewel? A rare 1973 Ferrari Dino 246 GTS, once his pride and auctioned in 2024 for nearly $500,000 to fund Detroit charities. Proof that his heart is as big as his horsepower. But his garage keeps rolling with a Pontiac GTO, a 1960 Ford Thunderbird, and a 1961 Pontiac Catalina convertible, all cruising time machines from America's golden car era. Add a Bonneville sedan from his early gig days, a 92 GMC Typhoon Turbo SUV, and a custom Harley-Davidson for solo night rides, and you've got freedom in every form. And when the engine's cool, Seger's not about yachts or jets, just a pontoon boat on Upper Straits Lake, family aboard, waves lapping like soft applause. These aren't just machines, they're memories, milestones, verses of his life song. Each car carrying a lyric, each mile another story. And from horsepower to heart, what's Bob Seger chasing now and today, as the spotlight dims but the road still calls? Current life and future plans. Today, Bob Seger's life is less about the roar of the crowd and more about the quiet echoes that remain. Turning 80 in this May, the milestone wasn't fireworks and headlines. It was lakeside toasts with Juanita, Christopher, and Samantha sharing stories on the deck, the way Heartland legends do. Recent work is sparse but golden. That 2023 cameo honoring Patty Loveless proved the fire still flickers, his raspy voice lighting up Nashville one more time. But beyond that, Seger keeps things simple, mentoring young Detroit talent, supporting local music programs, and occasionally dropping a heartfelt note of gratitude to fans. And family remains his encore. Lazy golf swings, Tigers games in Detroit, quiet strums in his home studio, and grandkids chasing fireflies by the lake. These are the new anthems of his life. But his catalog? Still alive and booming, hitting streaming peaks in 2024, bridging generations with songs that refuse to fade. But the interviews is a rare gems, like a heartfelt SiriusXM chat, reflecting on Alto Reed's loss, or a March X post thanking fans for the love that keeps his catalog alive. Future plans? No tours, no spotlights, but whispers swirl of unreleased tapes, maybe even a memoir, silver bullet secrets waiting for the right moment. But now Seger's encore is contentment, sunsets, family, and the music that keeps echoing. From Dearborn Doubts to Diamond Dawns, Bob Seger's journey proves rock isn't just in the roar, it's in the echo that lingers long after. And tell me, rock fans, what's the Bob Seger song that transports you back in time? Maybe Night Moves, Under Starry Skies, or Turn the Page on a Long Drive. Hit the comments with favorite song names. The most nostalgic ones get a special shout out in our next video. And this rock legend story revved your engine. Don't miss our epic breakdown of Joe Walsh luxury lifestyle, another icon defying the odds. Click that thumbnail now and keep the legends alive.